Throughout our history, Greece has developed a rich culture. We hope to share this with you today. This is The Glory That Was Greece.
Greece's mainland is mountainous, a peninsula surrounded by the Mediterranean Sea. With mild winters and long summers, these seafaring people built the first civilizations of Greece, the Minoan and Mycenaean civilizations.
Minoans are great navigators and farmers living on the island of Crete. They have a palace-led political, social, economic organizations. Minoans have artistic expression, advancement in bronze, and built sanctuaries. There are several theories of their decline. The earthquake destroys Minoan palace, the volcano erupts at Thera, and war between Minoans and Mycenaeans. Coming from southern Russia, the Mycenaean kings built fortress on hilltops surrounded by walls. The Mycenaeans were interested in war. They also imitate bronze and gold work of Minoans. There were many theories also for the theory of decline of the Mycenaeans. The first theory of decline was the shift in climate, and the second one was Dorians, the tribe of nomadic warriors from the north of Greece, invaded.
Reigning most of the second period of Greece were Athens and Sparta. With a rich culture, they have developed the world very much with their philosophies, sciences, and arts.
The first of the two dominant city-states in Greece was Athens. For their daily life, slaves could be set free, and children could attend school to achieve higher education after the age of 7. While men go to their desired tracks, women do the housework. As regarding their economy was mostly based on trade. They acquired wood from Italy and grains from Egypt, and they also traded honey, olive oil, pottery, and silver. The government of Athens was a democracy, in which they considered the people's decision. And where they made this decision, they did in an assembly and a council of 500. For education, citizens are literate, and only men go to school, and as a result, the men teach the women. Rhetoric was the most important subject. For the social structure of the Athenians, people could own property through gifts and inheritance, and they had a feeling of superiority over other countries or other nations due to their high education and arts. They also attended religious festivals to celebrate their gods and other feasts. And in Athens, all free men are considered citizens. Now we go to the second dominant city of Greece, Sparta. In the daily life of Sparta, slaves could not be set free, and only good warrior childs were accepted. Others are thrown away, meaning if you were born with disabilities or weakness, you would be cast away from the society, for they only accepted children who were deemed to be good warriors. Sparta was isolated from the rest of the world, and they mostly relied on farming and conquest, and believed that trade would lead to corruption of government, so they didn't actually interact that much with other civilizations. For their government, Sparta was ruled by an oligarchy, and children were forced to go to military school, and the people were encouraged to steal to survive. Although women were highly regarded in Spartan society, they could not participate in the government. As per their education, instead of arts and other subjects, they concentrated all of their education on military training, which meant brutal training, leadership skills, and learning how to fight. Women were taught physical education, wrestling, and gymnastics. Reading and writing were only secondary skills to the Spartans, as they prioritized their warfare.
The Greeks practiced polytheism, which means they believed in many gods and that the gods would meet at Mount Olympus. Their arts consisted of sculpting and architecture. Regarding Greeks' philosophy, among the most significant Greek philosophers were Socrates, his pupil Plato, his pupil Aristotle. Their focus was on reason, and their thought influenced the Renaissance, the Enlightenment, The Stoics, Epicureans, and the Skeptics were also very influential.
Greece's culture was very influential in terms of math and medicine. Medicine in ancient Greece was limited if compared to modern medicine. Hippocrates helped separate superstition from medical treatment in the 5th century BC. Herbal remedies were used to reduce pain, and doctors were able to perform some surgery, but they had no cure for infections, so even healthy people could die quickly from disease at any age. Ancient Greece produced an impressive list of mathematicians, perhaps the most famous of them being Euclid, who lived in Alexandria in Hellenistic Egypt.
The third period in the timeline of ancient Greece is the Hellenistic Age. The Hellenistic Age is a period of history defined as the time between the death of Alexander the Great and the rise of Roman dominion. During this time, Greek culture was dominant throughout the Mediterranean, thus the name Hellenistic, which is derived from the Greek word Hellas, which means Greece. After Alexander's death, his empire was split up into smaller kingdoms created by people known as the Diadochoi, meaning the successors of Alexander. The major kingdoms were the Ptolemaics in Egypt, Seleucids in Syria, and the Antigonids in Macedonia. Numerous battles were fought to establish these kingdoms, but they eventually lasted for several hundred years. During the Hellenistic Age, many advances in philosophy, science, literature, and art were made. Libraries in places such as Alexandria or Egypt and Pergamon helped make these advances possible. As the Romans began to gain power throughout the Mediterranean, the kingdoms of the Hellenistic Age began to fall, and eventually were swallowed by the Roman Empire. The Hellenistic Age left us with an extreme amount of historical information, as well as beautiful art, architecture, important literature, and philosophy and scientific advances.
As ambassadors of Greece, we hope that you learned something from the glory that was Greece. As one of the most influential civilizations in our history, you understand our culture and how greatly it has influenced this world. As you watch our video, maybe you notice some similarities of the ancient world with our modern world. This was the glory that was Greece. Thank you for watching.